As you can see, even small, regular investments can lead to significant growth over time, thanks to compounding.
You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind.
While she focused on luxury cars and designer bags, he prioritized his investments. This allowed his savings to grow exponentially.
The people who look rich are not always the people getting rich.
And if these 8 signs sound familiar, you may be richer than you think.
Day-to-day pressure can make even smart progress feel painfully small.
Your checking account can feel tight while your net worth keeps moving up.
You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind. You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind.
You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind.
A boring monthly surplus becomes powerful when it survives for years. Every time you avoid a dumb purchase, that surplus gets stronger.
Most people drain every dollar. You are already breaking that pattern.
Sign number 2. You stopped adding bad debt to your life.
You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind.
Bad debt works like negative investing. It compounds against you. The paid-off car looks boring, but the financed car often hides stress. You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind. Emergencies stop being disasters when you can absorb them without panic. Calm under financial stress is often a hidden sign of real progress.
It does not need to be huge. It only needs to stop the spiral.
Sign number 4. You invest automatically, even when it feels unimpressive. You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind. As you can see, the growth starts slow. That's totally normal for a long-term investment. You can be doing well with money and still feel completely behind. So you've got your paycheck, but then the rent and bills start stacking up. It can be stressful figuring out how to balance it all.
Sign number 5. Your lifestyle did not expand as fast as your income.
As you can see, the costs of major expenses are rising fast. It's important to understand the impact on your financial planning. The problem is, every time the paycheck increases, spending stretches to meet it. It's the same trap, over and over. If your raise created breathing room instead of new pressure, that matters. Sign number 6. Your fixed costs are not choking your future. Here's my paycheck, but look at all these expenses. Managing money can be really stressful. A home you can actually afford is a wealth tool, not a downgrade. Wealth often grows when you stop leaking money in 10 tiny places. Sign number 7.
You track progress beyond your bank balance. Rich people think in ownership, not just in what is left Friday night. Tracking the right number makes slow progress visible again.
Even a simple monthly check-in separates builders from drifters.
This is what happens when your paycheck barely covers the rent and other bills. Patience is not passive. In finance, patience is productive.
Surplus income, no bad debt, an emergency fund, and automatic investing.
I just got paid, but looking at all these bills, why do I still feel completely broke?
This system clearly illustrates how sound financial principles move your money from savings to strategic investments, ensuring steady growth protected by these safeguards.
We start with our income, but first we need to plug those expense leaks. Then, we redirect the flow straight into our assets and watch the savings grow. Broke people often live inside a loop. Builders create a different loop. For years, the roots grow before the outside looks impressive. While the plant above ground is small, the root system below shows the true potential for growth. And if we look at the projections, that trend continues upward. That moment when the paycheck lands, but the bills are already waiting. Let's look at how to prioritize these payments. While these luxuries look nice, true financial security comes from prioritizing your retirement account and building home equity. It seems like I make enough money, so why am I still struggling to get by? You've worked hard for this paycheck, but with rent and expenses piling up, you still feel broke. I just got paid, but with rent looming and all these bills, it feels like the money is already gone. If money is left at month end, that is not luck, it is structure. Faced with this repair bill, I had a choice: rack up debt or use my savings. By choosing savings, I stayed on track. This paycheck looks decent, but once you factor in the rent and these bills, managing my money gets really stressful. My paycheck just came in, but with rent and all these other expenses, I'm barely scraping by this month. How am I supposed to save? A raise can buy status, or it can buy years of freedom. The goal is not to look rich today. It is to avoid suffocation.
Wealth often arrives as a series of small upward lines, not one dramatic spike.
It feels like as soon as the paycheck arrives, the rent and other expenses are already demanding their share. This is where the story gets uncomfortable for a lot of people. A new paycheck arrived, but with rent and expenses piling all, I still feel completely broke. Quiet money gets ignored because it is built for durability, not applause. Wealth is not just what you own, it is how much stress you remove. A lot of status is just expensive stress wearing nice clothes. If your life looks ordinary, that does not mean your finances are failing. My paycheck just landed, but these bills keep piling up. How am I supposed to manage rent and all these expenses? Repetition beats intensity when the game lasts decades. It's the end of the month, I got my paycheck, but I still feel broke. Let's talk about why this happens. A bigger paycheck without control can be weaker than a smaller, disciplined one. Income helps, but behavior decides what income becomes.
Early milestones do not make you feel rich, but they change your trajectory.
That is the weird part. Progress often feels normal almost immediately. Your brain adjusts faster than your balance sheet, and that hides progress.
It's a common dilemma. The money hits your account, but the bills are already lining up, leaving you wondering where it all went.
Still feel broke.
We've all been there. A paycheck arrives, but the mountain of expenses means you still feel broke. Sometimes, wealth first appears as peace inside your own home. Wealth is not just money. It is the number of choices you can make. Low debt and cash reserves turn forced decisions into chosen decisions. The money's here, but so are the bills. Why does it feel like I'm still broke before the month even starts? I just got paid, so why do I still feel broke? Rich habits widen your future. Bad habits narrow it. It's the classic paradox. You make decent money, but you still feel broke at the end of the month. The worst mistake is quitting, because progress still feels ordinary.
It stayed relatively flat here, but once we implemented the new strategy, wealth generation accelerated rapidly, resulting in this strong upward curve.
Often the first real reward is confidence, not luxury.
When you're looking at your paycheck and the expenses start piling up, it can feel overwhelming. But that's where these wealth-building strategies come in.
1. Your spending stays below your income. 2. You are no longer feeding bad debt. 3. You have cash standing between you and chaos.
4. Money gets invested, even when you do nothing dramatic.
5. Your raises did not become instant new expenses. By keeping an eye on these meters, we've made sure our housing, car, and subscriptions are all in the safe zone. Look at this incredible growth. By investing early, your net worth can climb just like this chart shows. It can be stressful seeing all these expenses, but budgeting your paycheck is easier than you think. Put together, these signs say the same thing. You are quietly getting stronger. It's confusing, right? The money is here, but after the rent and bills, you're left wondering why you still feel broke. Watch closely as we plant the seeds of our financial future. Look at those roots taking hold, already turning into assets. So you got your paycheck, but then the rent hits, and suddenly you're wondering where it all went. It's a common problem. If these signs describe you, there is a real chance you are already ahead.
See how easily these temptations try to pull us off track. But remember, true wealth isn't about accumulating things. It's about smart choices.
So ask yourself honestly, how many of these signs are already true? Even if you only have 3 or 4, that is still meaningful progress. We combine savings, low debt, and patience. Now we add investing to build this staircase to financial freedom. Because getting rich often looks like this: quiet, slow, and disciplined. Stay patient, stay disciplined, and let time do the heavy lifting. So you've got your paycheck, but then the bills start rolling in. Rent, expenses, it can feel overwhelming fast. Okay, here's my paycheck, but look at these bills. Rent alone is half of this. How am I supposed to save anything?
I'm your real friend, Mike Investor. Subscribe to Goal Next Billionaire and turn your billionaire dream from a plan into reality.